The time in my life I would most like to forget. At the time of this event, my father was away in the army, so only my mother, my 4 brothers, Bobby 5, Gordon 3, Tommy 2, John 1, and myself, aged 7, were at home. My brothers have no recollection of the following events. They only know what I have told them. Apart from the usual childhood ailments, we were a healthy bunch, giving our mother no cause for alarm. That is, until the fall of 1939, when Bobby complained of a sore ear. Visits to the doctor were expensive, so most mothers relied on family remedies or suggestions from the local chemist. Every evening, Mummy heated some olive oil on a small spoon and poured it into Bobby's ear before stuffing it with a small wad of cotton wool and tying a heated scarf around his head. Usually that would have been sufficient to cure the problem, but not this time. I can still hear Bobby's cries as the pain persisted in spite of all our mother's care. After getting a critical note from Bobby's teacher, Bobby was falling asleep in class, and the teacher suggested Mummy put the children to bed earlier. We were always in bed by 7 o'clock. One day Mummy said, "Get your coats on. We're taking Bobby to the doctor's." We all got dressed and made our way to Dr. Henderson's surgery, which was in the parlour of his house, a 5-minute walk from our flat. Bobby and Mummy went into the doctor's office, while we sat quietly in the waiting room. She looked a bit flustered when she came out. On the way home, we met our neighbour, who asked how the visit to the doctor went. Mum told her the doctor thought Bobby must have been sitting in a draught, to take him home, put him to bed, and let him rest. But still Bobby's cries persisted, so after a few days back we went to the doctor's. He treated Mum, a poor woman, as if she was making a mountain out of a molehill, and we came away with no solution, but another 5 shillings poorer. This was about a quarter of a week's army allowance for our family. After another night of Bobby's plaintive crying, Mummy said, "We have to take him to the hospital." She put Bobby in the pram with baby John, while I pushed Tommy in the stroller with Gordon holding on. We plodded our way along our street, along Brunswick Road, down Leith Walk, along Junction Street, until we reached Leith Hospital. When we went to the reception area, Bobby was crying continuously, so the nurse reached down and lifted him out of the pram, calling for an orderly to carry him to the doctor's surgery. Mum told us to sit quietly in the waiting room while she followed Bobby, the orderly, and the nurse. She had such a worried look on her face. The next thing, we heard an angry voice. "Your son has tuberculous meningitis. Why did you not bring him sooner? We might have helped him. Now he will either die or live like a vegetable." Mummy burst into tears as she told the hospital doctor that she had taken him to our local doctor, who had told her there was nothing seriously wrong with Bobby. Sadly, we trudged home. Mummy never said a word. She gave us our tea and put us straight to bed. Next morning, we walked to the phone booth just round the corner and phoned the hospital. Bobby had died during the night. We children didn't fully comprehend all that happened next, but within 2 or 3 days, Dad and some of our relatives and friends came to the house, and the men made their way by foot to the local cemetery, 15 minutes walk from our house. When they were gone, Mum spread a blanket in the back green, gave us some food and drink, leaving me in charge. She told us to be very quiet. Children weren't allowed in the back green. It was only used for hanging out laundry to dry. In spite of the special circumstances, one neighbour did complain about the children's presence in the back green. When all the family left, after having tea, we were put straight to bed. I heard my mother sobbing and my father consoling her. He was cursing Dr. Henderson for his negligence. Daddy left the next day. Mummy carried on as usual, but hardly said a word for a few days. Because it was wartime, and many doctors were conscripted into the medical corps, Dr. Henderson carried on his practice as usual. There were no repercussions for his negligence. I don't think my mother ever really recovered from her loss. Bobby was a lovely child and my dear brother, never giving any trouble. Every November 19th, his birthday, right until she died, Mummy had a day of total quiet, silently grieving the loss of her dear son Bobby. I never said anything to anybody, but whenever I passed by the doctor's house, I spat on the front steps. These events I would like to forget, but whenever I see a child in pain or see a younger woman cry, I remember, and tears roll down my cheeks, but they never wash away those sad memories.